everyone. I'm going to take a little bit of time in this video to explain exactly what you need to do to complete writing assignment 2, compare contrast paragraph. This whole process will function exactly like it did for writing assignment 1, evaluation paragraph. The difference is that we're writing a different type of paragraph this time. Okay? Still just one paragraph, but this time it's compare and contrast. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have gone through the lesson on compare and contrast in this week's module. Make sure you go through the PowerPoint and watch the video lesson. Like I said in the announcement, a lot of students think they understand what they need to do to write a compare and contrast paragraph or a compare and contrast essay. And while they might have a general understanding, they often don't really think about the technical elements for this type of writing. And that PowerPoint and video lesson go through those. Especially pay attention to how you are supposed to organize this type of paragraph. You have two options for how to organize it. So make sure you understand both options and that whichever one you choose, you stick with it and do it the right way. Alright, so a lot of useful information in that lesson. Please make sure you go through it before you try to write this paragraph. That way you're more likely to do well on it the first time around, okay? And either you won't need to revise at all, or the revisions will be minimal, instead of having to spend a lot of time again in the revision process, okay? Alright, so underneath this video, you're going to see the same brief instructions that you saw in writing assignment 1, and it's basically just me telling you what each page of the assignment packet consists of. So again, there is a file attached to these assignment instructions, writing assignment 2, compare contrast paragraph. You'll open that up, and you'll see the assignment packet that explains everything for you. So remember, page 1 is just an explanation of the assignment. It tells you that you will need to review the material on compare and contrast, and then choose two topics that you are going to either compare or contrast. You don't want to be talking about similarities and differences. You want a distinct focus. Focus either on the similarities or the differences between your two topics. And then you're going to write a well-developed paragraph, one paragraph, on that compare and contrast. And again, it will be in a formal document that you submit, Word document, Google Doc, PDF. Hopefully, if you had issues with that for writing assignment 1, we have already resolved that issue, and then you can use the same method for submitting writing assignment 2 here. Okay? And again, remember, you definitely want to make sure that you understand all the elements that are required in a compare and contrast paragraph, but don't forget all those basic elements of paragraph writing. Make sure you have unity, that you have a topic sentence that is specific and focused, and that the rest of the paragraph stays true to that focus, that you don't go off track anywhere. Make sure that you have 3 to 4 points of comparison or contrast, right? So 3 or 4 main points that you're comparing and contrasting between your two topics, your two subjects, right? Make sure that those main points have specific and adequate support, that everything is ordered logically, and that you have created coherence with the use of transitions and connecting words to guide us from one main idea to the next. Make sure you have that point or concluding sentence at the end that sums everything up and reminds us of the paragraph's focus. Make sure that you are using an appropriate voice and tone, and that you are trying to give, as good of sentence skills as you possibly can, right? Proofread, right? But that's what you'll be submitting. Make sure that it's double spaced and that you've used one of the correct fonts that's listed at the bottom of page 1 of the assignment packet. But what you will submit is that document with your compare-contrast paragraph. One paragraph. Okay? Page 2 of the assignment packet gives you some possible topics. If you're struggling to come up with one, you could compare and contrast high school versus college. I think we may have done that already. Life before kids versus life as a parent. Online versus on-ground classes. Some of these are sounding familiar. You could compare and contrast two people in your life. Family members, friends, co-workers, bosses, siblings, right? We've done that before as well. All right, so those first 4 possibilities there, we have already written about those in either a journal or a discussion. And in my feedback to those assignments, I probably told you whether or not you had a good topic to use for this writing assignment. So go through my feedback. Maybe you want to use one of those to use as your topic here. You could also do compare and contrast 2 jobs that you've had in the past, or 2 vacations you've taken. Your real life versus your life in a perfect world. You could compare and contrast 2 musicians or 2 musical groups. In-store shopping versus online shopping. Or you could compare and contrast 2 different types of products, 2 types of cell phones, 2 types of cars, 2 types of computers, etc. I suggest sticking with the ones that you've already written about informally in your journals and discussions, but that's just me. You have the option of choosing other topics as well, right? Once you have chosen your topic and you're pretty sure you know how what your main points are going to be, you can then come to pages 3, 4, and 5 of the assignment packet for the graphic organizer. And again, just like the first writing assignment, this graphic organizer is simply here to help you. You do not have to use it. You do not submit it. It is not worth points. It is just here to help you. And this time I really suggest using it to help you. On page 3, the first thing you're going to do is just answer some basic questions about your topic. So question 1, you are going to compare and contrast these 2 subjects, blank and blank. Question 2, state if you are going to focus on the similarities or differences, not both. Write it there on the line. Question 3, list the 3 or 4 similarities or differences that you are going to focus on, A, B, C, maybe D. Question 4, which method of organization are you going to use? The one side at a time or point by point? Figure that out. And then question 5 says, depending on your answer to number 4, fill out one of the outlines below and use the outline to assist you as you type your paragraph. So if in question 4 you said, I'm going to use the one side at a time method of organization, then you're going to come down to page 4 and fill out that outline. If you said, no, I'm going to use the point by point method of organization, then you're going to go to page 5 and fill out that outline. And the outline is pretty self-explanatory. What is your topic sentence going to be? What's your first subject, your first similarity, right? So if you're using one side at a time, here on page 4, what's your topic sentence? What's subject A? High school, all right? What's the first similarity or difference, your first main idea that you're going to talk about for high school? What's the second one? What's the third one? And maybe what's the 4th one, if you decide to go with 4. And then what is subject B? College. What is the first similarity or difference you're going to talk about for college? It should match up with the first thing you talked about for subject A, high school, right? You'll see that in the PowerPoint on compare and contrast, how everything has to match up, right? And then what's your concluding sentence going to be? If you decided to use the point-by-point approach, you're going to use the outline on page 5 to help you. What is your topic sentence? What's the first similarity or difference you're going to talk about? And then what are your ideas for subject for high school there? What are your ideas for college there? your second similarity or difference. And then what are you going to say about high school there? What are you going to say about college there? And so on and so forth. Notice again how everything matches up. This is why I said it's so important to go through that PowerPoint, because there are slides on that PowerPoint that show you how to organize this type of paragraph. And you want to make sure that you use the same pattern, and that everything that you discuss in one is also discussed in the other. So for instance, if you're comparing and contrasting high school and college, and let's say you're going to be looking at the differences between the two. If you're going to use the one side at a time approach, you're going to talk about high school first, and there's going to be three main things about high school that you're going to talk about. Then you're going to talk about college and explain how college is different in those three same ways. It's not going to be like 3 things about high school and then 3 totally different things about college. No, it's here's what I want to say about high school, and here's what I say about college regarding those same 3 or 4 ideas. Matches up. If you're doing it point by point, here's the first difference between high school and college. Here's what it's like in high school, here's what it's like in college. Here's the second difference between high school and college. Here's what it's like in high school, here's what it's like in college. You always discuss high school first and then college in each main point. The organization here is crucial. Make sure that you are discussing the same ideas for each of your 2 subjects, and make sure you're using the same pattern when you discuss them. Use the outlines to help you. Again, not required. You do not have to fill out the outlines. You will not be submitting them. They are not worth any points. They are here just to help you, but they really can help you, right? So again, what you're going to submit that actually gets graded is a file that has your compare-contrast paragraph typed up, double-spaced in one of the appropriate fonts that's listed on the bottom of page 1. 1 paragraph. I will then grade that paragraph according to the rubric. Again, I will be looking specifically at unity, support, coherence, and then like grammar and mechanics and style. If you don't do so well, you can revise. I will give everybody specific feedback. You will get, no matter how well or poorly you do, you will get specific feedback from me. You can use that feedback to revise if you would like to increase your score. Remember, these are worth 40% of your overall grade combined, writing assignment 1 and writing assignment 2. If you do poorly on them, you risk not passing the course. So please, if you don't do so well the first time around, use my feedback and the revision option to your advantage. Okay? Alright, that's it. If you have any questions or run into any issues, reach out to me. Make sure you've gone through the PowerPoint and video lesson first, though, and then if you're still unsure, I will help you however I can. Okay? Alright, good luck.